everyone, Alex here, and today I'm gonna try to give a recommendation for every character in the game, especially epics and legendaries, for what sets of gear you want to have on them. So let's do a little bit of an introduction to cover a couple of things. First of all, we won't be covering too much elites and rares, and the reason is they can reach a maximum of level 160 and 220, and when you reach level 240 and above, they become basically irrelevant. For seconds, you will outgrow them when you have the perfect gear to put into them. So it doesn't matter too much. When you start the game, you will have a lot of health and damage gear. So we're starting with those. Everything that's DPS that has this class with a little sword on them. They all get 4 attack, 2 HP. When you can and you have a lot of crit available, first of all, you will be putting it on characters that are epic that you will have unlocked by then. A lot of them at least, and it's better to use the epics almost in all cases. Maybe very early game it makes some sense to use some elites because you will also have them at more stars, but you can start putting crit on some characters like that and moving to or speed, I guess, but there's many characters that you want to have speed or crit, so better to start 4 attack, 2 HP, and everything that is a tank. So the little shield here, they will go 4 HP to attack. That's decent, that's good enough. Maybe you can start putting a heal gear on some characters that have something to do with healing, because you will have an advantage of those. So even he heals the front row ally, okay, put heal gear on him because you have too much. See, heals people, okay. Even having to do with shields are covered, so this gives a shield, and this gear does a heal or shield crit, basically. So this also counts for shields. The heal crit, okay. And it's better to put like, let me see if I have it. Yeah, so no, let's give a different. Okay, so this one 193, this 236. If you have, it's better to put a purple gear of a bad set in many cases than a blue gear of the perfect set. You put the best gear. Besides that, let's make two other things clear just to set the groundwork. So those 2 pieces can be percentage stats, and they have as a base stat more than 50% attack bonus. He has from the attack set 9% attack bonus. I'm not even counting like another 6% that it's on the bottom, and another 10%, and here's another 6, and this can be another, I don't know how much it is, like 8%, 7 at level 25, the attack bonus. Then this can go 8% attack bonus, 5% on the top. This is 5% attack bonus. So in many situations, especially with those 2 gears, it's better to have the second, the best stat as a first stat than the best set, and especially having to do with the second part of the set. So let's start with speed gear, okay? First speed gear does nothing. Second speed gear gives +8 speed. Third does nothing. Fourth gives another 12. So it's not just plus 8, it's plus 8 plus 12. If you put another 2, speed, it does nothing again. Okay, so it does nothing. It's no point of putting 6, but if you put 2 crit, have any crit left? I have this one. It's plus 5% crit. You can change 2 of them to crit. Let me find. He lost 12 speed. He gained plus 10% crit, so plus 15% crit. So we care a lot more for the set times 4 than the set times 2. Having plus 15% crit is a lot more impactful than having, let's say, as a second stat, attack, if we have it available. Let's put this temporarily. Okay, so instead of having attack 3%, this 3% as a second stat is interchangeable. You could have those 2 pieces great with speed and attack bonus, so you use those, or you may have like the 4th stat that you really like crit here, but you have it, let's say, on HP or whatever. Do we have it? Usually I sell those that I don't plan to use. Let's say with speed, it's better to put like to have 2 speed, even though you didn't plan to, but have a gear that you like, because this plus 2 that for attack would be plus 3% is not really impactful. You care a lot more about the set that has 4 pieces and for the individual stats. So let's say start with the characters, and I'm gonna give also secondary recommendations. Let's put to Robin again his gear. Also give second recommendations what this could be. It's not the plus 15%, it's a lot more important than having the just times 2 in anything. You could even like having a character that you would really love to have, let's say, block on, like Nightwing. You can put this piece that gives him speed and gives him speed, like I did with a Blue Beetle, even though you wouldn't prioritize speed gear on him. But because the block piece here is very important, let's just put speed and be done with it. Even this one, you can have the only one that you have at speed bonus is something completely different. So you can have 4 pieces here as block, and you can have 2 different. You're losing like the 3% HP bonus that he would be getting, but you're getting a lot more here as a primary stat and a lot here as block. Hope this makes sense. Let's start with the characters that I'm using more often, and then I'm gonna be talking about a few characters that I haven't used, but I've done some research, what the first sets of gear would be that I would try. Take of that what you will. It's better than having nothing, but I will give you like 20 characters with very solid recommendation, or most of them, and then the few characters remaining that I'm just gonna say what, looking at their kits and what other people are using. For example, in Elite Arena, that you can go in Elite Arena and check what the top spots have. So you can see here, for example, let's say I don't have him, he doesn't have any, so he's not a good character. But let's say I don't have a Cyborg. Well, in block team, maybe put 4 block on him. Okay, that makes sense. That's maybe not the best example. Let's say him. You see that he has 4 HP and attack bonus. So I would probably do HP and attack to try it, especially if not only him had the same, but everyone that's using this character has speed on him. I hope this is another good pointer that you can check here if you are not sure about a character. If all 5 people that are in the top spot in Elite Arena have the same gear, it's good to try that. I kind of came to a conclusion that they're not always the smartest, but what they're doing, especially if you start in a Elite Arena that is just, let's say, 1 month old, they probably don't have the best testing and everything. Let's moving on to characters that are the most important one. So Wonder Woman, you really want to have 4 crit on her. So her kit, if she crits, it has a chance of applying stun. If she crits, it inflicts silence, or has a chance of inflicting silence if she's not at a rank 8. This gives her frantic, work with crit. She gives crit damage to her allies, so if you have someone that you are always pairing with Wonder Woman, maybe it makes sense to have crit gear on them, because they will be getting also crit damage from Wonder Woman, and you can take advantage of that. Then every percent of crit she has against damage reduction. In here, for every 1% of current crit rate, increases crit damage by 1% instead. So this is a beast with crit damage, and you also look at their emblem and you see she gains plus 32.4% crit damage. So when you see that, it's a good indicator that crit gear could be nice on a character, and you can take advantage of that. The base crit is a 50% extra damage, and then on top of that goes the plus 32.4%, and then the 1% for every crit damage that she has. So just a little side note here, this stops at 80%. I don't spell it here, but for the 89.2, I'm getting plus 80% crit damage, and it stops plus 32.4, plus 20% here for the first attack, plus 20% from Red Hood if you run them together. We get to that, but 4 crit would be the best for her. This piece, if you can have it crit, awesome. This piece, attack bonus, and then you either want to have speed on her, because this will help her potentially lap someone and put a silence on them and do massive damage, maybe kill them. She drains more because I pair her a lot with Zatanna, that you should. And she's kinda squishy, but she does a lot of damage and heals herself by attacking others. So you want to have speed on her, so potentially she laps someone that would kill her, do a lot of damage, drain, and then survive the attack the opponents do. That's my reasoning on that. And or you can have attack bonus, that's another plus 3% attack bonus, that's not too bad. If you happen to get a piece like this, for example, like this piece, and you only have this as crit, it's not too bad to have like plus 3% HP instead of speed or attack. It's only 3%. It's better to get the crit stat here and have a speed stat, extra 3% HP bonus. Okay. Just because I didn't mention it, I'm not gonna go too much in detail, but having a piece here instead of attack being attack bonus is a lot stronger, and having a piece like, where do I have it? This one here, instead of HP being HP bonus, or this can also be attack or attack bonus, but those two. This can be block, this can be crit. HP bonus is a lot stronger than HP, especially when you are high on levels. It's a lot stronger, but as I'm saying with many characters, best to have, let's say, attack bonus. You can substitute that with attack if you don't have any pieces with attack bonus. And again, like having only crit as a with HP, you could have attack bonus with something else that's not that great that you didn't plan of putting into her, like this one here, and you have HP. You have plus 3% HP, but you gain a lot of attack bonus and a lot of crit here, and it makes sense. We care a lot more about the 4 pieces. You may ask here why I have a 4 speed. I'm not completely gonna answer that, but I'm covered with crit here and have a very high investment into her, and I'm testing something. And I like speed on everyone, but as a base recommendation, plus 4 pieces with crit, so you gain this plus 15% until you reach at least 80% crit stat, is the best recommendation for Wonder Woman. Then you can make the other one something that you like speed, like attack bonus, even HP. It's not too bad. Many people have her in the front row. Moving on, John Constantine. I would say 4 attack bonus in 2 pieces that are HP. If you don't have good pieces for not HP, speed. Sorry. If you don't have good speed pieces here, you can try crit. He also gains crit damage from here. I like attack bonus because, well, he adds recuperates that heals based on attack, and he adds it to his whole team. So he would be healing more with this, and you have a guaranteed plus a 9% attack bonus instead of hoping for a crit. Let's say that. So he does base damage. He has some crit damage extra here, that's why I have a piece here with crits that can help him a bit with that. Crit is definitely like a secondary that you can look into. Some people have 4 crits and 2 attack on him. Okay, moving on. Nightwing. Nightwing, you absolutely want to have 4 blocks, so he has plus 15% block, and this piece always block. If you don't find this block, you can have it as a attack bonus, not too bad. And this always HP bonus cannot be block, and it's just base HP. If you don't find that, for Wonder Woman, this, if you cannot find it crit, you can substitute it with attack or attack bonus. This could be nice here, like having attack bonus. Here, okay, and this is base attack. For this, you could try crit if you just have crit piece than attack bonus. Attack bonus is more often that you get that in my experience, and it's just attack bonus. You cannot really substitute that. So you want to have 4 block. Absolutely, and 3 HP is probably the best. He's a tank, and he gets a lot of his job is to get a lot of hits. But and 4 block, why? He gets a lot of block amount. Having block chance will make him take very little damage. And his passive here, when taking damage, has a chance of dealing superpower damage equal to attack. Cool. If the damage is blocked, the chance of triggering increases to 60%, then it goes to 80%, and then it goes to 100%. So, plus he gains like some block here, so he already has block to pair with like a block from the gear and the block chant, so, and to activate this. And then this one here, and when he does his ultimate, he gains firm sand, which gives him more block chance. Then when this is activating, basically his emblem is tied to the skill, and when you have it at level 20, when this activates, he gains 1 buff randomly selected from recuperates, 30 armor and firm stand for 2 turns for every 3 times triggered. So having block on him allows him to deal more damage passively by the opponent hitting him, and he gains buffs that allow him to survive more. Plus, his ultimate is for when you have it at level 2, where it's here, for each type of buff he has, chance of stun increases by 10%. So it starts by 60%, he needs to have 4 buffs on him that other people can give him, but it's very nice that he can give himself by his emblem. So he can gain by his emblem here 3 different buffs. So we are moving to 90% chance from 60 if he has all the buffs to land his ultimate when he does, to land his stun when he does his ultimate. So there is a lot of reasons to add block with Nightwing. I'm also gonna talk when we get to Ocean Master that he also helps activate Ocean Master, but we'll get to that. So Nightwing definitely block. I'm actually trying, because I try to implement the strategy more and more, that the 4 the block, the sets times 4 matter mostly, and the sets like 3% speed bonus, what is it? Nothing. He gains like plus 10.6% here, plus 4% HP bonus here, plus 4% here, the 4th stat, plus 6% here. When I have the signature, it will be another 10%. He has 4% from his signature, he has 4% here. He gets a lot of HP bonus, and he's very tanky anyways. Because the only piece I have with block is this one, as the last stat, I would prefer block on him. So I'm thinking of putting this block to him eventually if I don't pull anything else with block, because it seems to be very rare for the shoulder set to have block as the final stat. So I can have this. It's also at a 1 diamond, so it's a little bit stronger than so it's epic 1, it's not epic, so it will have a little bit stronger stats. And then probably we'll put here with HP bonus, so I can move here and put like this one, which also has block at the final stat, and will give him a lot more block. When I activate his signature, it will give him another 6% HP bonus. It will take a massive investment, but then he will be blocking a lot more, and he will be doing 3% more attack. Plus, this is tied to his attack stat. This is based on attack. This is based on attack. He's dealing a little bit of damage. This also like gives him some extra attack. I haven't tested it at level 30, his emblem. So attack is definitely the second best option after HP, and because I have the pieces that work like this, but what I randomly have pulled or selected from Evil Falls, and randomly have the 4th stat, or here the first one, that make the most sense, I'll send him to attack probably eventually. At the moment I am working on another gear. Besides that, you could put crit as the 3rd stat because it hits many times. That's basically the only reason. Okay, he dealt some damage, it's not too bad. I'm even having him because he's the best tank I have. I have him often in game modes like System Recovery, or even in Arena and in Evil Falls on main Arena. If you haven't watched my video about the best arena team, so block plus crit. So he's with Wonder Woman. He gains crit damage here. Wouldn't be the worst if I had the same pieces as instead of attack as crit. Maybe like 3% HP bonus, not that impactful. Block, 15% block, it's awesome on him. Speed, maybe, instead of HP bonus, that's stretching it a little bit, but okay, he will be doing more basics, I guess, I don't know. speed, generally speaking, like when your characters perform, when 5 of your characters perform basic attacks, you gain ultimate points and you can use ultimates. So having a speed gear on a character will give him at least +8 speed and will make his basically a bit more often coming off. So maybe in the whole match you can throw one more ultimate, or you can throw an ultimate that might potentially lap an opponent from doing an ultimate and turn so much around. So speed I always like, but Nightwing is one of the characters that I least care of having speed on him. Moving on, Lex Luthor. I really like 4 speed on him and 2 HP. You can flip it around potentially, especially if you have many HP and then less speed. Gotta be flexible to some degree with how you're building your characters like this. But why I have this? So when he does his basic, he gains a cloak that stops the opponent basically from doing stun or freeze or silence on him. Then, when using basic attacks, if he doesn't have a shield, he will gain a shield that will absorb a damage equal to 9% of his max HP. For once, it says HP here, HP is nice on him, but for seconds, him doing his basics more often will allow him to keep renewing his shield and absorbing a lot of attacks. If Lex Luthor has a shield, he invites the ally with the highest attack to assist him in battle. Because I have him with Wonder Woman very often, this also helps Wonder Woman by draining and doing more damage. Then his advanced attack, he calls basically the ally with the highest attack to assist. He has a chance of enlisting an additional ally, and if there are no allies left, he uses his own basic attack. Then he will give them strong attack if you have it at level 2, and a higher chance of assisting. So he will be giving them buffs by doing this a little bit more often, and more assists, more draining, more stuff, more damage to the opponents, and more draining for the other characters, plus more buffs that they will having. His passive, when his allies, I think this counts him in, maybe not. Maybe this is stretching it, just trying to find ways why I like speed, but whenever his allies use basic attacks a total of 4 times, Lex Luthor, every 4 times, he gains plus 10% damage reduction up to maximum 40%, and then it's increased more, so it goes a little bit quicker, and then it decreases the basic attacks to trigger by 3. If this counts his basic attacks, that I haven't tested it, then he will be gaining damage reduction a bit quicker and be tankier that way. Otherwise, it's one more reason, because like Wonder Woman having speed on her will give Lex a bit more damage reduction, and everyone in this team, because it's a team that their strategy with crit and how they're working is basically kill the opponents quickly before they kill you. Maybe do some controlling effects like stunts with Wonder Woman, with the Batmobile in some cases, silence with Wonder Woman, and Lex is the defensive character of this team that helps them survive, and gives out shields that are based on his max HP. So yeah, because they want to kill the opponents very quickly, you want to have speed on them to do more ultimates and lap the opponents even with their basic attacks or with their advanced attacks. But besides that, specifically for Lex, he will be having more shields, and he will be surviving more, also with HP. For every tank, HP generally speaking makes sense, and for DPS, attack makes some sense to have or crit. Zatanna, you want 4 speed, absolutely, and then Also, a good point to make, I didn't make it at the beginning, depending on how big you have some characters or who you pair them with, but let's say this specific point that depending on how big you have them, you may want to have different gear on them. And it's a bit annoying, but it's not too much. You can just swap the two pieces and be done with it and move it to different characters. Especially if you haven't put the signature on them. So Zatanna, for example, why speed? First of all, speed. She goes fast and gives frantic to the ally with the highest attack. So you want her to go before your ally, like for example Wonder Woman usually uses her ultimate, and when Zatanna has speed, she will be doing her advanced attack before Wonder Woman does her ultimate, so she will be doing it having plus a 30 but another 2 stacks, so plus 50% crit chance she will be having when doing her ultimate. So doing that a little bit quicker makes a lot of sense. Also, she gives so when Zatanna is present, she grants all allies 2% life steal for each stack of frantic on the team. So you want her to keep giving frantics, so your team keeps having drain. So her going a little bit quicker before one of your teammates does an advanced attack or an ultimate that does a lot of damage and giving them drain. Frantic, first of all, they will be having crit and potentially be doing more damage by critting, and this can synergize like with Red Hood's team synergy, and we get to him. We talk about him when we get there, but besides the extra damage they will be doing, they will also be draining more by doing this. So her doing her advanced attack a bit quicker, and Wonder Woman was about to do her advanced attack that does a lot of damage, and because she has a frantic, she will drain, and then she won't die because of that. Also, when you have her badge at level 30, first of all, the two previous one gives more frantics to the second highest attack power, so they will be creating more and everyone will be draining more. But besides that, the first two castings increase progress of the action bar of all allies by 20%. This is awesome. She basically goes very fast, also having this artifact that gives her speed stat, and her having speed stat here, so she will be going very fast, be doing this gives a frantic to everyone, and because this is tied to the emblem is increasing this skill, she will also be giving a lot of action bar to your teammates, so you will lap probably everyone and do a lot of basic attacks on them, and then have ultimate energy to also use an ultimate. So this is awesome and super important. Besides that, depends also on how you're using them, but Zatanna, if you're using her in a team like, let's see if I have it set up here. Okay, so in a team here, we're basically in this specific team, like with Bride or any other tank, Lex, Kid Flash, Zatanna and Wonder Woman. Okay, Zatanna is the second biggest, highest damage dealer here. She will be giving frantic to herself, and you want with her ultimate her to contribute a bit more with the damage. Also, because she will be having all the frantics, she will be doing more damage. She will be draining a bit and helping herself stay alive. But for once, you kinda want her to stay alive a bit longer to cast this a bit more, the extra frantics, and they have other people draining like Wonder Woman, rather than her doing a bit more damage. For seconds, if you have her at higher ranks than other DPS that you're using, and you also have attack gear on her, she can potentially have a bigger attack stat than someone like a. If she had the 3% extra, like Green Arrow right now is 167,000, Zatanna is 163, almost 164. If she had the extra 3%, she might have more attack on him. When Green Arrow was one lower, it would be an even bigger difference. So there are cases where that you would prefer that to have a second DPS in there that gains the frantic instead of Zatanna, so they do more damage and crit. So Zatanna having attack might be annoying because she gives the frantic to herself and not to a different DPS. So that's a big reason why you may want to change to HP bonus, and where I think it's probably better. Right now I'm in a situation where I'm pairing her with Kid Flash and have a lot of attack bonus with Kid Flash. So Kid Flash now has more attack bonus, and I really don't want him to have frantics. So I kinda want to increase her gear a little bit so she gains more attack bonus and have more than him. So you kinda want to manage this. Also crit would make a lot of sense as gear, and I'm really thinking of putting this piece on her because I don't plan to use it anywhere else, and I don't have too many of those that are HP bonus. So a crit for once, she gives a lot of frantic, even if she isn't the second highest attack bonus, she will still be getting 2 frantics. But if she will be having a lot of frantics, and you're basically working with that, you're guaranteeing to crit, and she will be doing more damage, but not having higher attack stat that will give herself the frantic, if this makes any sense. Besides that, I want to activate, because I have them in Elite Arena with Red Hood, and with Red Hood, if you have his same series at level 3, when an ally crits, super power resistance of all allies increases by 2%. So this basically makes the opponent deal less damage to you if they do superpower attack, that's my understanding. And many times, especially in Elite Arena, they go up against superpower damage. So having Zatanna, even with her basic, or she kinda quickly does her ultimate in Arena. Even if people that have the team synergies die, the team synergy is still going on. So this will still be going if a Red Hood dies. So Zatanna is probably the second person, like the third one, but at the same turn with a Lex that does her ultimate. So she has a higher chance of critting, she does a bit more damage, and she will be giving superpower resistance to everyone in her team because she has more crit stat. Also, this is, instead of having this that gives you only 13,000 HP, that is not really impactful if you are at level 303. So look at how much more she has. Better to take advantage of that, bring it to level 15 and have plus the HP bonus that is 4% here as the last stat. This will be more HP than the 13,000, and you will be having crit on her. So crit definitely an extra piece on her. I wouldn't try to do heal, and heal are very few characters that make sense to have heal on them, and most of them it's not even their best choice, and we'll get to that when we... So generally speaking, no heal, and she doesn't heal the opponent's life steal, so I don't think this counts as a heal, and heal crit would not help her at all. Moving on, and these pieces I would prefer them to be HP bonus, but as I said, this can also be crit. Or as always, if you don't have the bonus percentage, just do the straight HP and don't max it out quickly. If it's an expensive gear to max out like epics are, you will regret it later. Better to wait to get the bonus percentage eventually and max those out. Maybe attack bonus wouldn't be horrible on her, but then you will have the problem that she will be giving a frantic to herself, and I would prefer not to do that. Moving on. Batman is my next character I have. Batman gains from his emblem 32.4% crit damage. He hits multiple times. His basic as well. His advanced hits a row. Sometimes, at least in a Convergence Crisis with the Mighty, I have him with a Wonder Woman that gives him another 20% crit damage. So I have 4 crit and 2 attack bonus on him. You could do the opposite. I haven't really seen anyone have something different than those two on Batman. I guess you could try to do speed if you had like only speeds to spare, and he would be putting out more armor breaks a bit quicker. I guess HP is also not too bad because some people sometimes having him in the front row, his HP is not too bad, especially if you have a Raven reviving him anyways. Maybe 2 HP wouldn't be terrible if you had like here a piece like this which says attack bonus but it's HP. I would say potentially do that because yes, he will be losing 3% from the set, but he will be gaining plus 10% here and even more if it's a more expensive piece, like if it's this one, he will be getting 25.2%. And 6% after that. No, if it were HP, it would be 6% HP bonus. But it's okay. Those 2 pieces would preferably be attack bonus, but as I have available one for crit, and I would like an attack set on him, and I didn't have available for attack bonus. I prefer to go for crit chance than straight attack stat. So the accessory can be crit, and I don't really think I can go something different here. Moving on, Bride 4 HP because she's a tank. She's in the front row, so you want her to take a beating, and then probably 3 attack. I primarily did 2 attack because gained the extra 3% attack bonus because I had this piece that the accessory, the communication device that has HP bonus, and I had available nowhere to use it on. No other piece like this one that is HP bonus, like with HP or something else that I could put on the Bride. So I used her like this. Also, her basic has a life steal chance. Her ultimate has an extra life steal. And when her emblem is at level 20, it gives her plus 100% crit rate. So it doesn't make more sense to have crit on her because crit gear doesn't give her crit damage, it gives only crit chance. But some of her attacks, at least the ones where she revives, and it's a lot important for her to have life steal to drain, and it also gives her, if it's at level 30, but I don't think this can be a big part of the conversation, it also gives her extra life steal. So basically having more attack will allow her to drain a bit more, especially because the crit on the instance when she dies and revives, where her lifesteal is more important, the extra crit would be wasted because you already would be having 100% crit rate. But crit would also be a nice secondary. He also gains crit stat by losing HP, so at some points in the match which is low at HP he has extra crit rate even without dying and doing the attack after she revives. So crit would also allow her to put a bit more damage out and they do a bit more life steal to survive a bit more. Maybe speed, because she will be going a bit faster, maybe doing a basic attack, doing a bit more life steal, and might allow her to survive a bit more that way. If you would prefer to have HP bonus on those two, but attack bonus is not too bad and will give her more survivability. I said if instead of having the accessory just HP, I would have it attack bonus. Maybe I can throw it in a different character sometimes in the future where it will make more sense. And I will also be having the 4% HP bonus by having it at level 15, that I wouldn't bring a different piece that is just with HP, not HP bonus, because I would consider that a waste. So the 4% HP bonus is already giving her more of a stat than having a piece like this, even that's more expensive, on and not maxed out. She also has attack bonus, will help her a little bit. She also needs to help a little bit with the damage on the team. It's not too bad. She's tiny bit of a damage dealer. This will allow her to drain a little bit. So I think, yeah, maybe block. I don't necessarily love block on tanks that aren't part of the block team, like Nightwing, Blue Beetle. He can go in the front row, and Vixen can be a substitute for Blue Beetle if you don't have him available. I don't like it too much block besides that. I don't know how much the base block amount is and if it exists, because if you go on a straight character here that I have nothing on at the moment, you can see here doesn't say any block amount, but it also doesn't say crit damage, and the crit damage is 50%. I don't think the block base block would be already 50%. That would be too much, and then block characters wouldn't do more than. But it might be something like this. I don't understand exactly how this works. 5% would not make it very often, but maybe there is something like 20%, and it will allow them to have this as a secondary stat. So instead of doing a bit more damage and do a bit more life steal, they could block a bit more, and if it has a base block amount that I don't know, I haven't seen somewhere that this is the case, then it could make sense to have block as the second stat on them. It's still only 5% to have a little bit extra block amount. I would really be interested on how much the block amount is, if it is the case. I'm going under the assumption that you don't have a base block amount. You need to have it by emblems and stats sometimes. I don't know if you can get block amount in skills. I think no. You can get, actually, yes. He gives out block amount. Yeah, with his advanced attack. Moving on, Sinestro. Haven't tested him more than a couple of weeks, but I like a lot 4 crit and 2 attack on him. I tried the opposite originally, then I put 4 crit onto him. I had a better piece here that he had a 4% attack bonus available, but I still lost 6% from the changing the set. I think like having 15% crit instead of 9% attack bonus can be stronger. you are closer to activating the extra 50% damage when you do a crit, especially if you are having crit damage on your emblem, then this moves more. It's more, at the moment he has plus 19.1% crit damage with an emblem at level 20, so he will be doing a 69.1% more crit damage if he crits. So having his crit a 41%, so another 10% for having 4 pieces instead of 2. I feel like he's putting out more damage that way. He also hits, with his ultimate, he hits everyone, but he hits again the front row for a lot more damage. His advanced attack hits a row again, so he hits many people. He has chances of doing a crit. I also very likely will put this artifact on him that will give him frantic 3 stacks frantic for 3 turns, so he will be already having 30% crit on that, so this will make it a lot likelier that he's going to crit. But again, many people are having 6 attack, 4 pieces attack and 2 crit. Those 2 would be better attack bonus. Maybe crit if you don't have attack bonus for the accessory. And some people are having a speed on Sinestro. And I can kinda see that because his advanced attack puts out debuffs that for once will be a detriment for the opponents, but he does a lot of stuff with debuffs that for this type of debuff it will increase the damage received for the opponents up to 15%. And his ultimate, let me see where it's. If the enemy has debuffs, it has a chance of putting fear that will knock back their action bar, and it says when there are 5 types of debuffs, the chance increases to 100%. So he will be putting debuffs a bit more often out with this. When an ally adds a debuff to an enemy, Sinestro gets a stack of Hour of Fear. When Sinestro casts an ultimate, he consumes stacks of Hour of Fear. For every 1 stack consumed, ultimate damage temporarily gains plus 10% damage bonus. So, one more reason to... I'm pretty sure he applies it to himself. So when he puts out a debuff with that, he gains Power of Fear. When he has Power of Fear, when the Power of Fear is at 6 stacks, ultimate point consumption is decreased by 1. So him having speed will allow him to put debuffs a bit quicker, a bit more. So he will be doing more damage with his ultimate. Maybe his ultimate will be going off a bit quicker from 4 cost to 3 cost. Also, some people might have a piece here with attack bonus that would be like the one. Let me show. Like this one, they happen to have like a attack bonus with speed. So this okay, instead of 3% attack or 5% crit, if they have 4 attack, let's put a plus 8 speed on Sinestro. I might try speed at some point on Sinestro, but my recommendation at the moment is plus a 4 pieces crit, the 2 attack. And speed would also help with this artifact. It gives you lifesteal, so having speed that is when this activates, you're kinda using it on squishy characters that are close to dying, and him having speed and doing a bit more damage quicker will allow him to drain back up faster with that. Moving on, Red Hood. Red Hood's team affinity I talked about. It gives crit stats and crit damage plus 20% at the start of the battle for the first 3 turns. It gradually moves down from 20%. And if he's at level 3, when an ally attack crits, superpower resistance for allies increases by 2% up to maximum of 30%. So he starts with a crit chance there. He also starts with Frantic, and he gains Bullet that give him extra crit damage. You have him with Wonder Woman very often. He will give him another 20% crit damage. He gains crit damage by his emblem. At the moment it's 19.1%. If it's a 25, it's 32.4. So he will already end with Zatanna if you pair him with, and he's the highest attack. So you want to take advantage of the 20% extra crit damage plus the extra 20% that the Wonder Woman is giving him. So it's plus 40% plus 10% for each crit with the bullets that he has, plus 19.1% crit damage. You have more than 100% extra damage by critting. So you kind of want to have it more sure. It's not as important as Wonder Woman that she applies stance or silence based on if she crits or not, but you want to make sure you take advantage of the extra crit damage that's massive with him. I'm kind of finding lately that when they change Zatanna and she's giving out everyone 2 stacks of Frantic instead of 2 stacks of I don't even know how it's called, that gives them attack, a strong attack. So she was giving out strong attacks and Frantic only to the 2 allies with the highest attack. Now she's giving 2 Frantic to everyone instead of strong attack, plus extra Frantics to the highest attack member. So Red Hood gets Frantic by himself at the start of the battle, then he gains more. And he has on his emblem that he gains 1 that lasts until the end of the battle. So he has. I see him many times with like 6-8 stacks of Frantic that he goes way over the 100% crit chance, plus the 20% here that he has, and he gives everyone. So maybe it's a bit overkill in some situations now with Zatanna. I'm kind of thinking that I kind of want to put 2 more speed on him, so you are doing you have the fastest team possible, and they have more ultimates going also the fastest, because he's the slowest character in this team. So the team basically I'm talking about is and I used to have it in Arena for a long time, is Lex, Red Hood, Wonder Woman, Zatanna, and Two-Face. So Red Hood is the slowest character here. All other characters at the moment for me have 4 pieces of speed, so they're very fast, but because Red Hood is the slowest character that will do a basic attack, we are waiting him in order to perform an ultimate. So this kinda feels bad for me at the moment because everyone else is very quick. Also, I feel like because when defeated revives after 2 turns, and he has a bit HP, he also gains a stack of Frantic and Bullet, and after reviving the person who defeated him, this doesn't apply anymore, after reviving he unleashes an ultimate basically, and if the target that target him is still alive, it will prioritize him. So many times like the opponent's Wonder Woman will kill him, and I'm waiting for Red Hood to revive and do an ultimate that does massive damage, especially with all the crit he has and stuff, that can potentially kill the opponent's Wonder Woman, and this flips so much around. Also have the artifact to him that gives him, when he kills someone, it gives him 50% action bar, so he very quickly will also do a basic attack. So my understanding is that if he has speed, his 2 turns will pass faster, and he will revive a bit quicker than the opponents will take a lot of turns and kill you. So that's a reasoning that I kinda want to try 4 speed on him. Most people I see have 4 crit and 2 attack, and this makes sense. I originally tried 4 speed and 2 crit, but when this was happening, he had a very low crit chance and he wasn't doing enough damage. Now we have more frantics from Zatanna, and you can, if I do that, I will try to max out a piece of gear like this, so I will lose 10% crit by having 2 crit instead of 4, but if I will be getting like 7% here, so maybe even one more piece to compensate for that, so this also gives 7%, so I would be maxing 2 pieces to gain like 14% or whatever. If I lose 10, so I'm actually more with a higher crit, and that's what kinda what I did with Wonder Woman now. I also have crit here that gives him more crit as a final stat. I could potentially, but I have the his attribute here, so I don't really want to change this. But I also have a piece here that gives him just straight crit instead of attack bonus as accessory, and it's one lower. But I could potentially try that. Maybe 4 attack to crit in some situations, especially if you don't want to do something crazy like this in arena, but then he's not really usable. That's basically his use. Like, have him in Elite Arena like with Wonder Woman, or have him like in a situation where you want to kill the opponents very quickly, like a system recovery when it says clear in 6 turns. So you have Red Hood here, so he gives everyone crit damage, a crit chance to someone like a Constantine that could really use it, and we are doing a lot of damage, more damage to the opponents, and will kill them quickly in the first 3 turns. He will die, he will revive, cast an ultimate for free that will allow you to put out more damage in 6 turns that you normally would. So in a situation like this, the shorter matches or even like team ups are like this, because I think it's 7 turns or something. So it makes a lot of sense to, even if he dies in the 5th turn or whatever, he will be doing a lot of things in that. But if you lose him in the 5th turn, you don't have him for 2 turns, it's okay. If you do that in the main stage, it's like a 15 turns, so you're losing for 10 turns, you are -1 character in it. Doesn't make sense. It's more for shorter matches. So because you kinda want to go quickly and revive a bit faster, and kill the opponents quickly, do more ultimates faster, kinda want speed on him. Otherwise, attack 4 crit, I think, is to take advantage of the 20% crit damage, but at the moment, because Zatanna gives him another 20% with the frantics, maybe it's a bit overkill crit. I'm kinda thinking that because he also gains a lot of frantics for himself. We'll see. I would start with like 4 crit as a basic recommendation, and either 2 speed or 2 attack. Probably 2 speed. I don't really like having like in Elite Arena, in the way they're playing out, a slower team. Moving on. Kid Flash. I like speed, 4 speed on Kid Flash, because he will be doing his advanced attack more often, which heals one person, does a big heal. So I want this to go off more often, because he may lap an opponent and do an advanced attack and heal a lot someone that would otherwise die by an attack from the opponent. That's kind of my thinking. He will go fast, heal a lot, and he also, the second shot is 3 attack bonus, and the reasoning is all his heals are based on his attack stat. So his ultimate heals based of attack. His advanced attack heals based on attack. So you kinda want to have, and he will be giving out more buffs with like speed, but having a gear like a heal crit doesn't do a bigger heal, gives you a 5% chance of having a heal that you're doing do 50% more healing. I would rather have 3% more attack and have a guaranteed 3% more healing every time and have speed so you heal more often for a little bit more than having a small chance to have a big heal in between. It's also kind of how he plays out because he does very big heals, so you don't really want his heals to potentially crit and heal for a lot more. You kinda want him to heal a bit quicker so he heals more people, if this makes sense. But like heal crit would be the second stat I would try, or HP bonus because you kinda want him to be survivable to heal people. As I said, the second doesn't matter too much. Attack bonus I think is the most important stat on accessories and communication device because he will be healing a lot more. But HP bonus wouldn't be too bad. He would survive. Moving on. Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle you 100% want to have 4 block on him. He has block amount from his emblem. He works with a like Ocean Master that they were gonna get to. That he benefits more from that. He's in his kit. Please here. Every 1% block that he has, he gives damage reduction to his back row allies up to 30%. You want him to have 30% block stat. Plus 3 HP is the second one because he's a tank, the front row, you want him to survive. Wouldn't be too bad to have like 3 attack or 3 2 pieces attack or 2 pieces crit because he's doing a little bit of damage, but you really won't notice it if you don't have many ranks on him. Or HP felt like a stretch for me when I did it, but I had this piece, the communication device with block, and I would prefer having more block on him than having 3% HP. As I said with the rule. But I also kinda look at his kit and he has a stack of weaken. This can help with Ocean Master, how it works and will make the opponents do a bit more or less damage. He gains firm star, stand and removes frantic from the opponent, so this will help him survive. It's not too bad to have a speed on him. He has a couple of stuff that can help him go a little bit faster. As everyone, speed is not a horrible stat to have. Moving on, Ocean Master. Ocean Master has the team synergy, and that's one more reason that you absolutely want to have 4 pieces of block in Nightwing and in Blue Beetle. That if you activate that, when your team blocks, every time your team blocks an attack, I think it's 4 and 5, the first levels of team synergy, it will increase attack of all allies by 4% up to a maximum of 30%. So if you have those 2 people in the front row, like Blue Beetle and Nightwing, blocking a lot, he has 58.6 and he gains blocked by other means as well. On top of that, he has 49.3. So plus this that gives him like 12%. So having those two plus Ocean Master in the back row, blocking a lot, will quickly give plus 30% attack to everyone on your team, not just those three characters that are block. And when you have this at level 3, the team synergy, when an ally blocks an attack, all allies are healed by 1% for 1% of their max HP. So this also the opponents do basics on you, do very little damage because you have block stat and block amount on a Nightwing and a Blue Beetle. And everyone on your team heals for 1% every time. So this can also help with the healing on this team. And so because this activates with by everyone blocking, including Ocean Master, you want to have 4 pieces of block on him, so he has 15% block stats by that. He also has block amount from his emblem, and if you have it at 25, it will go 32.9. So having him blocking will really help him take less damage. And when you have Ocean Master, you will always have activate, or almost always have his team synergy activate, because he's probably the strongest in the game. And so you want to have block on him, so everyone on your team will get 30% attack stat plus healing when he is at the 5 red, that I would highly recommend to rush him to. It's very, very strong. And the second one could be a few things. He's a character that, as I said, could be a bit different depending on his size. So having him smaller, you kinda want to have 3 HP for him, 2 pieces HP, so plus 3%, so he survives a bit more and his team synergy is activating. But better would be either 2 speed, because his advanced attack has a 3-turn cooldown, so every 3 turns. Grants plus 50% block and block amount to the ally with the lowest HP for 1 turn, then it grants it to the 2 allies, and then it grants it for 2 turns. So 50% block amount to someone like Nightwing that already has 32.4, or even at emblem 20 Blue Beetle with 19.1, or himself, Ocean Master with 19.1, or if they go to 25, they will go like a Nightwing 32.1 or whatever it is. This will make them like take very, very little damage every time. Also, it will basically be guaranteeing block if you have a plus 50% on characters like Nightwing that already has like a 58.6. It exceeds 100%. Blue Beetle is a 49.3, but it's plus 12% from the artifact that I have on him at the moment. So he's at the same, like a 63 or whatever, he is 62. He's also guaranteed to block. Even like Ocean Master, if he applies this to himself, he has 38.7% block chance at the moment. And if he brings his emblem to level 25, he will gain another 4%. He's also will be taking very, very little damage here. But especially now that's for 2 turns, I feel like speed will bridge the gap a little bit from the turns that this will be active. So I feel like this will be, he will give them plus 3 for 3 turns, or no, he will give them for 1 turn and then for 2 the block chance and block amount, but it's for their own turns. So like a Nightwing, he will lose it based on his speed, and when he's faster, he will lose it faster. So for everyone's speed, it will they will lose that every two turns, and he can apply it every 3. So him having plus 8 speed will make him apply it a bit quicker, and maybe with this plus 50% block chance and block amount will protect someone from your team by for this one turn or whatever the difference is from for the speeds that they wouldn't have a block extra block. Now it's minus 8 speed faster, so this 8 speed could potentially lap someone and add this quicker. Also he will be doing a tiny bit more basic attacks that will apply weaken, so the opponents will do less damage, but then will also apply more bleeds when he does his ultimate. So I feel good about having speed on him, but a very popular one instead of speed is plus 3 attack, and he's doing damage. I have attack bonus on those 2 pieces here. He's definitely doing damage if you have him built, and because he does a lot of counter attacks, and he does counter attacks when an ally blocks an attack, not when he blocks. So when you have Nightwing and Blue Beetle blocking, that's one more reason you want block on them. Ocean Master will be doing counter attacks. This will be doing a lot of damage by them stacking up, not each one individually, but then it will be adding stacks of weaken, and then when the opponents have many stacks of weaken, it will add bleeds for 3 turns, or 2 if you have him smaller, based on the stacks of weaken. So they can have 15 stacks of weaken, so it can go up to 45 bleeds. 15 stacks of a bleed for 3 turns. Every turn they will be getting, and every bleed is 20% of his attack, so it will be doing a bit more damage based on his attack. And this also stops shields. This is more so have on everyone else on your team block, so he can land more bleeds because he has done more basic attacks in between. So yeah, attack is definitely something that you would want to have on him. As I said, HP when he's smaller. I see some people having a crit, and okay, he counterattacks a lot. Some of them will be crits, I guess. Definitely they would do 4 block, and then something else. Those would probably be better as attack bonus, but HP bonus wouldn't be too bad, especially when you have him small and you can move it somewhere around. So have like an HP set and have those 2 HP bonus. If you happen to have them like this and you have them available, throw them on Ocean Master and you have him big, and then replace them with something with attack bonus, and they have like a 2 speed on him or 2 attack. This also could be very strong to have as a, or is it as block? Definitely block is a bit more important on a Nightwing and Blue Beetle because they're in the front row, they're taking more beating. And as I said, with Ocean Master, he only counterattacks when his allies block, not when he blocks, but his Steam Affinity, like the attack stat and the healing, happens also when Ocean Master blocks. So you kind of want to have block on him, but I'm not really sure which one is better. Maybe in a Ideal World you will also have a piece like this with block. I kinda invested in one with attack bonus and don't really have anywhere to put it, and then pulled a second block again with speed. Maybe at some point I will try it. Again, I don't, because when he counterattacks only when his teammates block, and he will already be having a lot of block when he also puts the advanced attack on himself. I'm not really rushing to change that. Maybe some people would even make an argument like attack bonus is stronger or at least similar because it will you have those 2 characters that they block a lot and they absorb the attacks and they activate the team synergy and whatever. You kinda want him to help with the damage a little bit. probably block this, but then attack bonus. This you want attack bonus, maybe HP bonus. Those wouldn't be too bad. I don't really see why you want to have this crit. Moving on. Green Arrow. Green Arrow you want 4 pieces of crits because in his passive he gains plus 15% crit chance to crit damage, and 20, then 25, and this doubles when the enemy HP is above 50%. So at level 3, when he's at the rank 8, it increases his crit chance and crit damage plus 25%, plus another 25% if the enemy is above, for every enemy that when they take damage, if they are above 50%, they will be getting another 25% more crit damage, and he will be having crit chance against them. So this is like 50% crit chance and 50% crit damage. You really want to take advantage of that. He doesn't have it on his emblem, which is kinda lame. But you also, some situation maybe want to have them, especially early game, many people are running a team like Green Arrow, John Constantine, Wonder Woman, Zatanna, and Lex. So in this situation you will be having 2 more Frantics at least, maybe 5 on Green Arrow by Zatanna, so you will be closing to end having the 20% crit chance from Wonder Woman, extra crit damage. Sometimes you may want to have him with Red Hood because they can activate with Red Hood and have the extra 20% crit damage. So you want to take advantage of those, the crit damage that he gains. Yeah, he has like plus 25% crit chance and crit damage. Only just by himself. So instead of 50%, it can be 100% more crit damage. When he crits, you kinda want to solidify that, make sure that you crit. At the moment I have this piece of crit on him, and it's probably the best as accessory, but then you can have it attack bonus. This is best as attack bonus, again the communication device. Then the second one, either speed, so everyone on your team crits a bit more. You can not crits. You can get ultimates a bit faster. He will be putting out a frostbite, which I think makes the opponents a bit slower. So this can help a little bit with that. Otherwise, plus 3 attack. And that's about it with the Green Arrow. Moving on. Pandora. Pandora you want 4 speed, so her advanced attack does a very big shield, and that's put the cloak, so they will be not get stunned basically. You want this to go more often to protect people, and plus 3 attack because plus 3% attack, plus 2 pieces with attack, because her ultimate heals based on her attack stat, and her advanced attack does a shield based on her attack stat. So that's probably the best. She's a character, she gains 7% heal crit from her emblem, but she has a small window where after losing 10% of her HP 10 times, she will permanently get 50% heal and shield crit for her. So if you have another character that helps with healing with her, for example, you have them with the block team, so you have John Constantine with them, and John Constantine will put recuperates on Pandora. Then you have the 1% healing from Ocean Masters in Synergy. So if she gets to a point where she loses like 90% of her health, she heals for another 20%. Then she loses another 10%. She have lost this passive have triggered 10%. She has lost 10% of her HP. She's still alive, and she then will be having 50% crit chance heal shield crit. I don't know for how long she will stay alive after that, unless you have her emblem at level 30, when she will be getting also life steal when she's doing her ultimate, because at the moment, if she's not level 30, she just sacrifices her HP, 20% of her HP. She doesn't heal. She is doesn't heal herself. Kid Flash heals himself. So, and if you have that, then she will be losing. It will be a lot easier to activate that and still stay alive. But or you do something weird and you also have Kid Flash with them, but I never really tried it too much. Like in my second account, I tried it on the green team, in Convergence Crisis, and even that was temporary because I have them both unlocked and not many other great characters. But there might be a window there where at some she might throw an ultimate at least before she dies, which will have crit chance plus 50%, plus 7%, so 57%. Could give her another 5%, so make it likelier to land. But yeah, it's just kill shield crit chance. It's not extra healing from that. She has a heal bonus of 5%, besides the 50% that's the crits, I think. No, she's just healed plus 5%. Anyways, you could say, okay, I want to have those attack bonus because those attack bonus would be the best. Communication devices and accessories because she heals and shields based on her attack. So I happen to have those available only as heal set. Okay, she would be having like the attack bonus that she normally wouldn't be having. She will gain like 10.6% from if it's a level 1 or even more if it's higher. Plus as a third stat, I also see attack bonus. So she will be getting more attack bonus by having those two pieces with the attack bonus, or one of them. And then she's losing plus 3% attack. This with block, I don't have it. Yeah, she will be losing plus 3% attack, but she will be having a bigger attack stat with by attack bonus here plus 5% heal shield crit. That she could actually, this could actually help this activate. It's not less. It is plus 5%, but if you have already like plus 57%, it's not unlikely for this to go off. I don't completely hate the idea of having this. Also, her heal here hits like 6 times plus 2 if her emblem is at level 20. So you have more of a chance of one or two of the two being at a higher, actually doing a heal crit. Instead of Kid Flash that just heals once every ultimate that he does, and he only has one case where he has the extra shield, the extra heal crit chance that can activate, if this makes sense. Then 3 HP wouldn't be too bad. Even like 3 crit, I don't really see that. But okay, she hits multiple times. You happen to have like pieces that they make sense to put on her. I don't like that as an idea, but it's not the worst idea. Like you have those 2 attack bonus with crits, I guess, and you don't have other characters to put them on. That are many characters with crit that want attack bonus. Then maybe. That's why I also have the artifact here, because there aren't really characters that take advantage of that. At least she has a heal shield crit rate and plus 20 12% here, plus 7%, plus 50. Okay, I can see that kinda. Now that I mention that, I kinda think maybe I can put this piece here, but and even put this in a different character. I would see maybe make more sense. Moving on, Grodd. Grodd are like 4 pieces HP. His tank in the front row. That you really want to have a beating. You want him to be the primary tank in most teams that you are using him. I had him plus 2 speed, and I didn't like one part, and I changed it. But you could have a plus 2 speed as a secondary solution, and he puts a basic attack a bit more often. We will put out a debuff, and this can help Sinestro go on. I can see that kinda, but he's in his passive. He does the opposite than Lex does. So he gains for the first 2 rounds a damage reduction. Lex gets it when after some rounds have passed and your teammates have done basic attacks. Gorilla Grodd starts with damage reduction, but then loses it after 2 rounds. So I kinda want him to not lose it 8 speed faster, if this makes any sense. Like, I would prefer an opponent to hit me, and because I didn't lap him with a plus 8 speed, I'm having 55% more damage reduction, and that's the reason I changed it. And I also had those 2 pieces with HP bonus. I didn't have what to do with them, and I wanted to put HP bonus on Grodd. Maybe there is some base stat with block that will help him. I'm also kinda starting to using a combination of a block and a block and a debuff team in system recovery when I don't need mighty characters. So I have him with this team synergy active in some situations. So having 5% more block makes sense. I get some use out of that. I definitely gain plus 20-30% almost by including the 4th stat by having those 2 pieces with HP bonus. So that's a good enough reason for that, even if this was a heal crit or whatever that I wouldn't take an advantage of otherwise, because the base stat makes more sense to invest in the individual piece than having like a plus 3% of a different stat. Attack bonus would also make some sense, because if you don't want to have the speed on him, so you want him to have the damage reduction for a little bit longer, then you can have attack. His ultimate does attack. He can help a tiny bit with the attack. Okay, it's not horrible, especially if you had attack pieces with HP bonus. That would make a lot of sense. So moving on, DCU Superman. I cannot say I have tested him super extensively. I put HP pieces because I had with the percentage bonus stats here that I wouldn't use otherwise, especially this one with attack bonus, and I kinda liked it and I put more of them. And I did put 2 pieces with attack. I originally had him with speed, and I removed it basically for the same reason as Grodd, because with his passive, once per battle, Superman will survive a fatal attack with 1 HP, which he will gain invulnerable for 1 turn, and then he will heal for 10% of his max HP. So he will be immune to damage, debuffs, and control effects. So I originally misread his passive here, where it says healing for 10% of the... I thought he heals every turn based on his HP. That's why at my first glance I just look at this, I saw 10%. I did put 4 pieces of speed on him. but he heals based on the damage he took. So it's not the same or a big argument that you want to have speed on him because he will heal a lot every turn. No, it's based on how much damage the opponents have done on you. He will survive his first turn anyway, and then he will die kinda quickly. I remove the speed because, and maybe you kinda want to, in some situations, to put again because he puts out a dampen with an advanced attack, and dampen will make the opponent take more superpower damage. So if he were to do an advanced attack right before one of your teammates did an ultimate and the speed helped him with that, then that could be an argument for speed. I'm not saying 100% against speed. At the moment I use him with my debuffs team, and he does that, the dampen, way before like Sinestro does his ultimate, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the HP, it doesn't change how this plays out. At some point, degree even, I kinda don't want him reading like a Mr. Terrific kit, which I haven't tested him yet. I kinda want higher stars on him. So Mr. Terrific puts out a yes, with all his attacks, he puts out one stack of dampen. So, I want him to go before DCU Superman because DCU Superman's advanced attack, if I have them together, if an enemy already has at least one stack of dampen, this will add one stack of slow. So if he were to do that before so he had a lot of speed on him, and he didn't have 4 speed on him, and he did. He would probably do that before he does a basic and puts out the dampen, and you would be losing one slow. So you at least want to have him go do his advanced attack after Mr. Terrific puts out the dampen. We'll see how this plays out exactly. I haven't tested it, but it makes a lot of sense using the kits that you want there to be already one dampen to add the Sagas of Slow, and I haven't seen anywhere dampen with him. Maybe I didn't properly notice it, but I don't see any buffs here or whatever. Maybe it's on his emblem, I don't know. Is it on his emblem? Yes. If an enemy has no stacks of dampen, has a chance of inflicting Emerald Knuckle. Let me see. His basic attack, if they don't have a dampen, he may want to put them. And I don't plan to put speed on him. He's one more way of putting out a dampen on the opponents on the same that Superman would be hitting. So I kinda want him to go before Superman. One more reason to not have speed on Superman. So he has a 20% chance of applying dampen. Where is he? Let's go higher. The third attack of basic always applies the damage. Anyways, I don't plan to put speed on guy, so I want him to do a basic and have a 20% of applying dampen before Superman. If I have them together as a team, we'll see about that. But you want dampen to go before someone that does a lot of superpowered damage does your ultimate, but you would prefer this attack to go off after the opponents already have dampen. The main reason I removed speed on him is because of this that says invulnerable, okay? He gains invulnerable for 1 turn. I would love the idea of him sitting there with invulnerable and absorbing an ultimate that he would otherwise lap the opponent and will be taking damage by having +8 speed. So I kinda think speed on him in this situation would be a detriment. So he stands there, he gets invulnerable, and the +8 speed would in some situations I imagine allow him to lap someone that would do an ultimate on him, even single target like Batman that would absorb a lot of damage, and he would be sitting there because he's slower for the one turn to pass and absorb an ultimate with massive damage. Because of this chance, and he does that, I want him to do that really good, to sit there for one turn and just be taking damage and absorbing attacks, even a basic attack from someone. I don't want him to lose that and for it to go to somewhere else because he was faster. So that's why I removed speed. He's a tank basically, even though his class says DPS, so you want to have 4 HP on him, and especially how I'm running him and the size that he is, I want him to be more survivable. Have plus 9% HP bonus. I think will be a lot more important than having plus 9% attack bonus. He doesn't really do too much damage, and I have his ultimate going off last at the moment in the team I have him. We'll see exactly how this plays out with Mr. Terrific and his team synergy and whatever, and this gives him more damage. Like superpower damage plus 50% sounds a lot. But at the same time, he will be the tank of this team as well. So you want him to be survivable, especially if there's a team without tanks. You would want someone that has a lot of HP, I'm imagining. So one reason is I happen to have those pieces here that they have HP. I also kinda testing this. I kinda prefer HP bonus. I don't think he really does too much damage, but also damage. Okay, I think it's a bit niche, but 4 stacks of burn. The scale based on his attack. He adds stacks of burn. At least he hits 6 times. So first ultimate will detonate once, and second ultimate will detonate twice. Or if the opponents have if you have other characters with burn, that you may have a lot of crypto there. Yes. So okay, attack will help him with that. He also will be getting lifesteal here. I will bring him very soon to 15, will help him a little bit more to survive. So attack will definitely help him with that. His ultimate also does damage. Basic does damage, this does damage, so I definitely he's a DPS, at least I call them that. He will be getting more damage from that if we end up using them together a lot. So I'm kind of thinking of it like this. So you have 4 pieces plus 9% HP, so he's a better tank in the front row. He's not faster, so he will be absorbing the more attacks with invulnerable. It worked for me because I had those pieces here available. And plus 3 attack, he will be doing more attack. He will be having a bit more lifesteal by his emblem at least, and will be surviving a bit more. I could see speed, okay, because he will be putting out more debuffs, might help in some situations. He will be healing, okay, he will be healing part of the damage he took, and he will survive 100% there and heals plus 10%, plus 10% of the damage he took since the previous turn, and maybe 20% here, and also with his emblem at level 10, it will also heal him for double the amount. So the first time we're about to die and he takes a turn, he will heal a lot. Will you reach the second turn, so it matters that you will be healing for 30% and each of the damage you healed. So it's 10% plus 30, he will be basically like 30% HP he will be being here. Will he survive one more turn? Maybe 4 HP, like 9% HP, and the damage that will give him a bit of lifesteal might allow him to survive better rather than the speed that he gets to heal for 10% of the damage he took in between his 2 turns will help him to heal and survive like this. I don't think the 10% will make a massive difference anyways. I much rather have for the invulnerable. I can kind of see the argument here. Okay, he heals for a percent of the damage he took, so he will be surviving because he will be healing by being a bit faster. Yeah, maybe this will make a bit more sense to add more stacks of dampen, so because he will be having plus 8 speed, someone will be hitting into 1 more stack of dampen and doing superpower damage, so this 10% extra superpower damage will make up for the potential attacks that he loses here. I don't think so. I think his place in the game is primarily to be a tank and to be absorbing hits, especially with team synergy now here that you don't need to have tanks, but he works as a tank. So I'm recommending 4 HP to attack Akuchi crits because this hits multiple times. This hits by tremor enemies on either side of the target. Plus all enemies. Even like the crit damage will allow him to life steal a bit more because he will be doing the 50% plus of the base crit damage, or you will be having him with Wonder Woman for whatever reason because he's a mighty character on the Crisis Watch or whatever. I could kinda see crit not being bad on him. I wouldn't recommend like 4 attack or 2 crit that other characters are doing. Unless you really want to have him as a DPS, but he doesn't work as a DPS. People are saying he does terrible damage. And if you have him a bit smaller, better take advantage of this 1 turn than... and I would recommend the same gear for a base Superman for the same reason, because I have the same invulnerable thing on the kit. So both of them will be 4 HP, and then either 2 attack because they also help with attack, or 2 speed in some situations, maybe 2 crit because they hit multiple people, but 4 HP and 2 attack is the basic recommendation for both Superman. Deathstroke, moving on. I want to change those pieces for crit, but this is a secondary option that I would be doing speed. And 4 attack is the base, so he... where is it? He puts out a lot of bleeds, and bleeds are based on his attack. He will get some crit. He gets crit, but only if 2 enemies or fewer are alive. Okay, that's not very bad. He also gets some crit from his emblem at level 20, I think. So when the sword is used, increased crit chance and crit damage by 15% each. So I see a little bit of crit there. He also hits like hits with all 3 attacks, and some of them hit multiple people. So gun hits 1 enemy. Bomb hits an enemy and a random enemy. Sword hits an enemy 2 times. Has a chance of dealing additional basic attack. He definitely hits multiple times, sometimes more than 1 enemy. He gets some crit from his kit in some situations, not super like apparent or overpowered. I've just used him today as a mercenary with this artifact, and this gives him lifesteal and gives him frantic, so I can see this being better a bit with crit. I also feel he doesn't really need the speed too much, but I see some people running speed on him. So I would say for now, I definitely want to test him bigger. I'm like 1 fragment away. of getting him to 8 red. So yeah, 4 attack because he deals also blitz and 3 damage. He doesn't get crit damage here, otherwise would be leaning more to crit. Plus 2 crit, or probably would be changing those for crit, or 2 speed. I don't particularly like to have, some people have that, like 2 attack, 2 speed, and 2 crits. I want to take like have the plus 3% and the plus 6. I want to have a. It doesn't make sense to lose the plus 6 for 5% crit. So either 4 attack, 2 crit, which will be my primary suggestion, or 2 speed, maybe 4 crit, 2 attack. And those pieces definitely to be attack bonus. This crit wouldn't be bad. And always if you don't have attack bonus, do it this just attack and don't invest too much into it. Moving on. Raven. Raven is again a character that you maybe want to change a little bit depending on her size. So you definitely want speed on her. Why? See, her advanced attack revives people, and her it goes off every 4 turns. Her taking the 4 turns quicker will allow her to revive people before more people start dying and you can recover from that. So she will be reviving more and more often by being faster, and that's a very big reason you do that. She also adds some debuffs with like doing basic attacks, so she will be helping with a Sinestro getting to ramp up quicker. And then you want either 2 HP that I really love because for once she revives based on her current HP. So if she has a higher health pool, her teammates will be revived many times with full health, even if she's like 60% or something. This here, the badge, if this goes to level 30, it heals people based on her attack. So attack might be a bit more important there. Also, she has lifesteal, and she hits this does damage and not even now at 3 red. She doesn't do too bad damage by using her ultimate, and she adds debuffs that all are based on attack. So all of them are based on their attacks, her attack stat, and this has a lifesteal. So having attack on her definitely, for one, help her a bit, save more alive, but she will also be doing more damage. If she's very big, especially if her emblem is on level 30, if she does a bigger heal, might make me to change her to 3 attack, but at the same time you kinda want her to survive to revive someone, or to revive allies with higher HP. Also, when she's built up, you may just want to have Sinestro and like 2 support, so you rely on the Raven a lot more for the damage, or she's like the 3rd damage dealer many times, like in the League Challenge. The League Challenge is kinda tricky because you want her, the Steppenwolf kills the opponent, your character that deals the most damage on him. Then at some point Raven revives him, then he kills the second. So you kinda want Raven to contribute with the damage, but not do more damage than other teammates. So that's why I usually have her ult order at least 3rd in the match, many times 4th or 5th, depending on how the team composition is. But I kinda started moving her to 3rd now instead of 4th. And this helps especially with Sinestro because she has debuffs and this kind of fits with itself. So maybe one reason not have attack is her not doing too much damage and overshadowing other characters and she getting killed there. You want her to survive to be able to revive people, but if you have her at like a silver shard that many people have, then maybe she's very survivable. And you kinda want to have a bit more damage, especially if you are not having enough DPS with Sinestro in a team like that, and you rely more on her the damage. Maybe as her being the third person doing an ultimate against Steppenwolf, she will always be reviving someone of the two DPS that will be doing more damage than her, and she won't die. And her life steal will help her survive. Kind of similar, or at least to some degree, than HP bonus would. And this can be impactful, that 100% healing the lowest proportion HP to 300% of her attack power, having 3% more attack, doing a bigger healing. I can see that some people have a crit on her, so this kind of goes. I don't think this hits multiple times. No, just one time. This ricochets, okay, this hits one time adjacent, but yeah, I don't really see that how like at some point I thought, okay, she won't have more attack, so Steppenwolf is not gonna kill her, but she will be single contributing with damage. But I read his kit and it says that when he hits the character that deals the most damage, not that has the highest attack power. I'm pretty sure. But it's similar than damage, okay? 5% crits, it will be hitting, will be dealing more damage, will be doing a life steal, and that's it, pretty much. But for speed, I think it's basically non-negotiable, helping her revive more often, that's her main job. I'm pretty much a fan of HP, that's why I would recommend HP bonus here, but at some point, people having big Ravens maybe want to switch to attack bonus, or at least this won't be too bad. I wouldn't really use crit here, but maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Like, instead of having this with HP, having it with crit, I'm not sure. I'm kind of afraid of Steppenwolf, actually. I don't really want her to deal too much damage, but probably this is not my problem with Steppenwolf. I just don't like the idea of her dying. She's there to revive the big damage dealer. So again, 4 speed is basically the basic recommendation, and then 3 HP, especially if you have a small. Maybe you want to switch to attack to deal more damage eventually, especially when her emblem goes to level 30. This can be impactful, and she will be doing lifesteal and such, and survive maybe quite as well, or close to HP. Moving on. Penguin, I would do 4 speed and 2 HP. And the reason is his advanced attack, when he has this, he gains defense, he gives damage reduction to his teammates, and you kinda want this to happen more often, but then having speed will have his, if you don't have his emblem at a level 30, where he keeps his umbrella up for the entire battle, then he will also lose it more often. But while the umbrella is raised, increases the attack power of back row allies by 10%. So they will be doing more damage. And I found that moving him from 2 speed to 4 speed pieces makes his advanced attack go off before someone like Wonder Woman or a teammate, a big damage dealer, does an ultimate. So this is basically, he laps her, he does his advanced attack, he just puts out the umbrella before she gets enough energy to do an ultimate. So then she will be doing an ultimate with 10% more damage. This can be very, very impactful, and can be a big reason that you can use Penguin, because he's not like awesome, especially now with Superman DCU. Penguin was kinda used in debuffs because he's putting out some poison. now he kinda lost this place. Like I tried him with debuff, originally had him, but being Superman with a little bit of investment kinda outshined him and does a bit of damage. Because if the one turn invulnerable is awesome. But yeah, Ping basically you want him to lap the opponents to your teammates in order for them to do 10% more damage. There was situations I used him with Wonder Woman in a team where there was a main stage where you really wanted to kill the opponents very quickly, and the 10% damage going off helped a lot. So I think that's the reason for the recommendation. I've seen the opposite, like 4 HP to speed. I really like to lap the for his advanced attack to go off more often, so then everyone in your back row has damage reduction, and your back row has more attack power. And if you, whatever reason, will run him with Poison Ivy, they will be doing more poison damage, and Poison Sacks will be going off more often, faster at least. His basic attacks will be doing a bit more poison, so I really like that with how it works with speed. Maybe 4 HP and 2 block. I think his job is basically to put out his umbrella, otherwise he's worse than many of the tanks that we have, so I cannot really see that. But the attack, because this deals some attack, and poison is based on attack. If you have a piece here that's like attack and HP bonus and you want to use it on him, I guess with attack, but even that's stretching it a little bit, or to block, because some people are using him with block team, but then I would just do 4 block and just not invest too much into block pieces. And I don't know exactly how it plays out. Maybe having 4 speed will allow actually someone like Constantine do an ultimate with 10% more damage, and then you would do 4 speed and 2 block. Moving on, Two-Face, 4 speed, probably 2 attack. I'm kinda thinking switching it to 2 HP, especially kinda want to put a piece like this on him with attack bonus and HP. So speed, he does his advanced attack and it has the chance of putting out silence and slow to the opponents. It can be very impactful, or at least it puts out some bleeds and he does a little bit of damage, but mostly because of the chance of applying silence. When he's in the back row, it's kinda low the chance. You may want to reset it many times if you really are dependent on that to beat like a convergence crisis or whatever it's called, where you need a mighty team. Note, there were some situations where I really wanted him to land the silence to beat a Node, and I did because he landed that. So you want him to go fast to apply silence before an opponent so they cannot use their ultimate or their advanced attack, and lap them like that and do that a bit more often. That's, I think, the main reason for doing that. Besides that, and it also knocks back their action bar, which can be huge. So, and attack, because he does put out bleeds, and he can help a little bit with the damage. He also, I think he also gives it to himself, doesn't he? The life steal. Yeah, back row allies gain 15% life steal. I haven't tested it, but I think he also gives 15% life steal to himself, which can help with that. But he deals a bit of damage. Bleeds are based on attack. Maybe crit because his ultimate hits a row, but this is stretching it. I feel like I would consider more than attack HP. For once, because I have this piece, and it would make sense because I want to put attack bonus on him, and he really wouldn't be a priority for a piece that would be attack and attack. I have other characters like that, even like Deathstroke with the sword. But with HP, I don't really have too many characters with that. I kinda want to change DCU Superman for HP bonus, both with HP bonus and remove that. But attack bonus would be a second, so that wouldn't be too bad. And with Penguin HP bonus, you want those. You don't want anything else. I think I didn't say what we want for Penguin. I think you want attack bonus for him, but HP bonus wouldn't be horrible. And I kinda feel like he's there in the back row to be putting out some silence potentially, to help with the lifesteal, to help with the damage amplification. Kinda want him to be there to do more basics to survive, so your teammates will, other teammates like Wonder Woman will do more ultimates a bit more. I kinda want him to survive a bit more. Even just to stay there and potentially put a silence out. So that's why I'm thinking putting 3 HP on him. And he, at least the way I'm using him, he doesn't contribute too much with the damage. I know he's a bit of a damage dealer, he puts out bleeds. There is an evil force with Owlman that his team seems is active, and he also uses an ultimate to puts out bleeds. But he's a support. I kinda want him to survive. As the same reason I have like HP for Raven, even though she's a bit of a damage dealer, and Zatanna, even though she's a bit of a damage dealer. I'm a little bit thinking of a HP. I don't think it will make a massive difference, but in the combination of giving him more attack bonus by a piece like this that I wouldn't be using otherwise, and giving him 3% more HP, so he's a bit more survivable, I think would be very nice. Moving on. Robin. Robin gets crit damage from his emblem. This can be higher, of course, like 15, 19.1%, which is nice. And if you bring him to 25, it can be 32.4. He also hits 3 times. He hits 2 times, he hits 2 random enemies, so he hits many people. 4 crit and 2 attack makes a lot of sense. You can have the opposite. I haven't really seen anything besides that. And those would be attack bonus, I guess. Moving on. Ivy. She gains crit damage from her emblem. She hits a row. She hits 2 people with her advanced attack. I think it makes sense for crit and 2 HP. As I said many times when you compare them, it's 15% crit plus 3% plus 9% attack. So it kinda makes more sense. Also, I feel like attack bonus is more of a predominant stat on, at least for the signatures, but I think for everything in a pieces, so you can just upgrade this to the next stat, or this one at the last one, this is the last, than crit. I kind of feel you gain it from other places a bit more, both attack bonus and HP bonus, than let's say crit or speed that you basically aren't getting from anywhere besides like the from some emblems, of course, especially for many supports and these artifacts. Besides that, I don't really know any place where you can get more speed. So speed is kind of interesting because it's a bit more unique than just having attack bonus and HP bonus. And block, if you have a block team, is a bit more rare, I feel like, but you also have a piece here where can it be full block. Moving on. And attack, yeah, crit and attack, because attack is also based on like poisons are based on her attack speed. I don't really see anything else. Maybe like to add one more poison sucks a bit, to have 2 speed on her instead of 2 attack, I guess. And those being attack bonus. Moving on. Weasel. One moment. Let's also say him because also it's a character that I have tested, and then we're going to more suspicious characters a bit. At the moment I have 4 HP and 2 attack on him, and I have this with HP bonus, it kind of works. He heals based on his attack, so you want to have attack on him. He's a tank in the front row, and you want him to have HP to survive, and usually I don't have him using an ultimate very... When I use him, because he's small, when I used to use him at least, his ultimate was very last at the last spot, so he would rely more on his HP to survive. But he's a character that if you have a very big investment in, like if he's at level 25, he gets a lot of heal crit from his emblem. He also hits everyone basically, so he has a like 19.4, like almost 20%. It's called plus 15 if you have 4 pieces of heal crit into him. Goes to like 34.1%. It's not too bad. He hits everyone. Many people are, like high-end players, are saying this is the build for him, and it's basically the only character that the people are using heal gear on. I also kind of like the idea because I have those pieces here that I don't have to use any place to use them on, and I would want to have attack bonus on him if I have had a big investment on him. Imagine if I had one more like this with attack bonus. It would make a lot of sense to try that, because you would probably be having a majority of pieces like this that aren't used. Like if you happen to have a percentage bonus with a HP, I kinda like the idea of that. You want to have attack bonus probably in that when you have a big investment on him and you're using his ultimate, but otherwise HP bonus would be fine and nice to survive. And he also would help with the damage, I guess. I haven't tested him as big. I kinda like the idea of having like 4 heal crit and 2 attack on him, and him being a massive healer. Many people have just 4 attack and 2 HP on Bane, because he heals based on his attack, but he's also tank, and you kinda want him to survive. So I would go something like this. If he's small, 4 HP bonus, 2 attack, especially now that I have this with HP bonus, I didn't have a place to put it. I haven't used Bane for a while. I also want to test heal crit on him, especially because I have those pieces laying out, and I want to put attack bonus on him if I build him up. But that's only with heal crit. It's only if you really have a big investment into his emblem. I wouldn't consider it at all. His emblem wasn't at least at 15 to try this. I mean, you can have him unlocked early on. You have many heal gear that you aren't using and are purple, and you will be having attack pieces as blue. Okay, you can try this out, but I don't like 5.3% plus 15 would be 20%. Another 34.3 is a lot more likely to activate the heal crit. Moving on to other characters that I don't have tested too much or at all, but I have I have tested Green Lantern, John. Green Lantern is a tank in the front row that you want to survive more, so you want to have HP bonus on him, and he, with his basic, he puts out many debuffs, so I would love to have speed on him, so he puts out more debuffs, and that's basically it. You maybe want to have 2 attack on him, because he also drains a little bit, he gains lifesteal. So he helps a little bit with his damage. His ultimate deals damage, but after many turns. So I could see 4 HP and 2 attack on him, but I liked the speed more when I was using him. I like speed more, doing a bit more, putting out debuffs a bit more often and having the 4 speed to survive. So let's go at characters that I haven't really tested too much. What I would do, so have Weasel, 4 attack, 2 crit. So many of those characters aren't great to use everywhere. So okay, he hits many people, he puts out bleeds that they are based on his attack. His emblem doesn't give him a crit, so I would go with 4 attack and 2 crit to help with his damage. Guy, I would try 4 crit because he also gets heal crit damage here, and 2 attack. Superboy, I would be having 4 crit and 2 attack. He again gains from his emblem crit damage. He hits many people with this. Mr. Terrific, I would be doing 4 speed and 2 attack. He puts out or is he, what did I do? Skills. So he puts out dampers when he does basic attacks. You want him to, where is it? Well, he deals some damage, but his role is to put out dampers and add with that. Okay, so his emblem, and as a support, you generally want your support to be fast and do important stuff. So his emblem, every time he takes a turn, he will lose a debuff and extend the buff on himself, so he wants him to take more turns quicker. Again, these are the first things that I would try on characters. Probably better than not starting from scratch, and usually it's something that other people are using, and I check the kits and they see that it makes sense, so I want to try it as well and start from there, and if I don't like something, to change it. Probably the 4 speed will stay the same, and 2 attack will probably be the second best. Maybe you want HP because he will be a support, you want him to stay alive. Moving on. Jessica gains crit damage from her emblem. She hits many people with her ultimates, and so 4 crits, 2 attack. Phosphorus, 4 attack, 2 crit. Well, he doesn't get crit damage from his emblem, and he. What? Yeah. Well, he's a damage dealer. He adds burns. Burns are based on attack. Moving on. Vixen I have 4 block and 2 HP because I would be using her instead of a Blue Beetle. Maybe you are early game, you don't have Blue Beetle unlocked, you have Vixen, you have a lot of block gear sitting around, makes a lot of sense. She also gains block by her passive. She gains 20%, so she already starts with block. And for 2 HP pieces for because she's a tank and help with taking hits. Basically, what she's a substitute of a Blue Beetle, and then you can move her gear to Blue Beetle. Worst case scenario. Maybe I will do for her HP if I try to use her in a different team. attack, worst case scenario, she puts out some blitz. But I would really, if I use her with a block team as a substitute of Blue Beetle, and I would do 4 block for that, just to activate a Ocean Master's team synergy and to survive a bit more as a tank. And she will be, this would be HP bonus, this maybe block. Those, all of them, like, okay, here will be HP bonus, those would be attack bonus with everyone, every DPS basically that I said. Maybe crit, wouldn't be too bad on especially characters that had 4 crit. Yeah, that's basically applies for everyone. I don't think it changes too much. You want attack bonus for him, maybe it's a bonus. Moving on. Okay. Starfire gains crit damage from her emblem. She hits at least 2 row here. 4 crit and 2 attack. And same as her, she also gains from her emblem crit damage. So 4 crit, 2 attack. Okay, so Mera is a DPS, but she doesn't gain crit damage from her emblem. So 4 attack, 2 crit, maybe 2 HP because she also kinda works as a tank, many people are saying. Maybe in a weird situation where you want her to be the main tank in a team with me, said everything that I don't really think will happen. 4 HP. But I would probably start with 4 attack. Bloodsport, I would start with 4 block because he's part of a block team. And if you have him early on, which is the only place where it makes sense to use him, and you might have many block pieces laying around, like I did on my second account, makes a lot of sense to have 4 pieces into him. And yeah, he gains block amount from his emblem, so this can work with that. So 4 block, so to activate Ocean Master Team Synergy, and then to attack, probably. Maybe to crit, but he doesn't really hit multiple people. And he doesn't get crit damage from his emblem, so since he's only basically part of the block team and not a great one, like a early game one, 4 block and 2 attack, so he helps with attack. Superman we talked about, same as DCU Superman, 4 HP and 2 attack, maybe 2 speed, maybe 2 crit in a weird world, or you might have like crit pieces with HP bonus. Again, take those with a grain of salt. Take them, okay, this is the first thing that I would test on those characters. It's probably better than doing something random. Don't take them as religiously as the first one that were actually better tested. And I've tested some things and came to some conclusion, and I give you a reasoning that you can accept or reject, or do part of what I'm saying because you want to accomplish something different. Flash, I think I would be doing 4 speed because of basically his use is to go first and reduce the action bar of the opponent, just like Zatanna is doing, that she goes first and gives action bar to her teammates. My understanding is Zatanna laps him, so I don't know how impactful this will end up being. Maybe you need to throw Zatanna with him, so Zatanna gives him action bar and he laps the opponent. But as I've been testing stuff like that, not with Flash necessarily, I see that Zatanna's action bar that she gives ends up lapping everyone. So it wouldn't really make a difference how fast the Flash would be at the specific moment. If the opponent Zatanna gives action bar to the opponent, wins the conflict before you, the opponents will probably go before your Flash. This will need testing, of course, but Flash basically is for Arena to do that, or Elite Arena, not base Arena, to knock back action bar and to go first. So I think that I would have speed on him primarily, and he has on his like 4 speed, as I'm doing with Wonder Woman, that not many people are having. I believe I would do 4 speed on Flash. It makes sense. That's basically his trick and what he's doing. And I will be doing 2 crit because he has crit damage on his emblem. Maybe 2 attack. Maybe 4 crit and 2 speed, depending on what you want to do with him. But I would start with 4 speed and 2 crit, and the pieces would be probably attack bonus, maybe crit as a accessory, and for Superman I would like him to be HP bonus as the primary start. Maybe attack bonus wouldn't be horrible with him. Okay, Martian Manhunter, I think I would be doing 4 HP and either 2 attack, just to, he is the base start that you will be doing. But I also see that he's putting out Weaken with his advanced attack. So, and dispels a buff. I probably would like to have 2 speed for that to be going on more often. So I would say 4 HP and 2 speed. Okay, so Dr. Fate. So Dr. Fate doesn't get crit damage from his emblem. So I would do probably 4 attack and 2 crit. Maybe the opposite, but I would probably start with 4 attack and 2 crit. Don't see really a reason with a speed, but in some situations or with characters that I have mentioned, maybe it would make sense in some teams. Like if I want to make a team like around Green Arrow that they will go very fast in Elite Arena with Wonder Woman instead of Red Hood, maybe I would like to have some extra speed in there. But for Dr. Fate, let's say for now 4 damage and 2 crit to start with. Okay, so Cyborg, I believe I would start with Silence. Generally speaking, with support is very nice, but especially him doing Silence with his advanced attack is very, very strong, super awesome, and you want him to put a silence before the opponents use an ultimate or an advanced attack 100%. There may be 2 HP, so he survives a bit longer, or 2 attack, he helps it with the attack. I'd say 2 HP because probably we'll start with him small. Maybe even 2 block if it's the only place I'm using him with, because many people are using him even in Arena, and especially in Arena with block, and works very, very nice. We'll see. So, Green Lantern Hal, I would probably go 4 crit and 2 attack. He hits multiple people, he gets crit damage from his emblem. Okay, last character in the game that we haven't talked about is Supergirl. And Supergirl, I would do 4 speed. So she will be adding a lot of frostbite, and when the opponents have 5 or more stacks of frostbite, she gains extra crit rate. Maybe some extra crit to go with that 5% or 3% attack, because it helps with the damage, and frostbite is based on attack.